Hello, everyone. I'm Brianna Munoz, and today I'll be diving into the social learning theory. Okay, so the social learning theory was first introduced by Albert. No. Okay. It was first introduced by Albert Bandura in 1977. The social learning theory asserts that humans, as social creatures, do not just acquire knowledge through direct experiences, but also by witnessing the experiences of others. These observations can occur in various contexts, such as within families, peer groups, educational settings, and the media. In the context of strategic communication, this theory serves as a framework to help organizations adapt to changing media landscapes, refine their messaging, and learn from the successes and challenges of others. According to Thayer and Myers, 1998, the theory has 6 basic principles. The first principle is respondent conditioning, which focuses on how we learn to adapt to our environment through automatic responses. The second principle is operant conditioning, which deals with consequences shaping our future actions. There are 4 main types of consequences: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment. Next is rule-governed behavior. This occurs when we modify our behavior based on instructions signaling future consequences. Rules often act as verbal substitutes for firsthand experience. Another principle in the theory is shaping, which is the process of gradually reinforcing behaviors as they get closer to a desired response. And another principle is operant extinction, which is when behaviors previously reinforced start to fade as those consequences disappear. Behaviors that have been reinforced intermittently are more resilient against extinction. And lastly, we have observational learning or modeling. This is all about learning from watching others and limiting their behaviors. Think of it as kids learning by watching their parents. So now we'll dive into a case study conducted by Richard C. Hanna, Victoria L. Crittenden, and William F. Crittenden in 2009, which looked at how the social learning theory can apply to ethics in business. The study looked at students from various universities in 36 different countries and observed how the social learning theory could be applied to understand how future business leaders develop ethical standards and make decisions. Since the social learning theory states that we learn by watching and copying others, when it comes to business ethics, it helps us see how future business leaders pick up on making ethical decisions by observing those around them. The study recognizes the importance of cultural variables, particularly the distinctions between Eastern and Western cultures. To gather data for this research, a 2-stage sampling design was employed, and a questionnaire was used in the study featuring 27 questions, asking respondents to express their agreement or disagreement with various statements related to ethics, capitalism, and laws. So the study categorized students into 5 cultural groups based on moral philosophies. So those from North America were placed in the egoism group, which is where individuals prioritize their self-interest. Those from Western Europe were placed in the formalism group, which focuses on rights and moral intentions. And those from Latin America were in the relativism group, which focuses on defining ethical behavior based on key individuals or in groups. And those from Asia or the Pacific were placed in the virtue ethics group, which emphasizes virtues such as trust, empathy, and fairness. And those from the Middle East, Africa, and Eastern Europe were placed in the utilitarianism group, which involves seeking the greatest good for the greatest number of people. And the study found that there are 4 crucial influences on ethical behavior. The study raised several research questions within these, and I'll explain each. So for role models, the social learning theory suggests that individuals learn by imitating role models. This study set out to investigate whether the perceptions of these role models engaging in ethical or unethical behavior would influence the students' ethical standards. The key research question that was raised was, do perceptions that managers engage in unethical behaviors lead to increases in unethical behavior in different cultures? And for the end justifies the means, the study looked at the perception of this within business decisions, and if students are led to believe that achieving business success requires sacrificing ethical principles. It's important to understand how this belief influences ethical standards. So another question that was explored was, do perceptions that the ends justifying the means within work environments lead to increases in unethical behavior in different cultures? So in this study, the role of capitalism in influencing ethical standards was analyzed. Researchers looked at whether the pursuit of profit and capitalism was an underlying cause of unethical behavior. This led to the critical question, are unethical decisions driven by capitalist motives in different cultures? And the influence of laws was another aspect that was explored. The researchers looked at the relationship between laws and ethics. If students perceived that what is legal is also ethical, it implies that laws play a decisive role in molding ethical standards. Therefore, this study posed the question, do future business leaders in different cultures perceive that if something is legal, then it is also ethical, thus implying that unethical behavior is guided by laws in different cultures? And so the results of the study found that role models play an essential role in shaping the ethical standards of future business leaders. Students are influenced by role models practicing unethical behavior, which leads to an increased likelihood of compromising their own ethics. Notably, the influence of role models varies across different moral philosophies, except for virtue ethics. And the study found that the perception that the ends justifying the means in business decisions significantly influenced unethical behavior, especially in virtue ethic societies. Students who believe that business success necessitates compromising one's ethics tend to be more ethically lenient across different cultures. And the role of capitalism in influencing ethical behaviors varies across different moral philosophies and regions. In Western Europe, the belief that efficient management can only be achieved through capitalism significantly impacts ethical standards. In contrast, in egoist societies, including the United States, the belief that capitalists are entitled to profits because they assume the risk of loss negatively influences the likelihood of compromising ethics. The study revealed that the perception that something legal is also ethical exerts a powerful influence on ethical standards, particularly in egoist societies. In these cultures, the legal framework heavily impacts ethical behaviors. However, this influence is not as significant in other moral philosophies, underlining the complexity of this relationship. So in conclusion, the social learning theory reminds us that behavior is influenced by observation. The study demonstrated that future business leaders are heavily influenced by what they see and learn from role models, which shows how the theory plays out in real-world scenarios. And knowing how people learn ethical behavior through observation and imitation can help us shape more effective communication strategies. And thank you. That concludes my presentation.